of you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed in attaining all in that which is your need? To be heard by the real answerer of all deeds, the true hero of all whom pleads. Who of you really want to bow down to the true King of Kings commanding the crown? To worship the one that ever rules alone, commanding everything of creation from the seat of its throne.
Good evening and welcome to an A.H.A.D moment, the calm before the storm. I'm your host, Minister Idris Taha. With me today we have Lord Holy Apostle Dean, Holy Queen Mother Rabu, my partner, Brother Abdul Aziz. Those here in our studio audience, may I ease his peace and other blessing by everyone's presence.
May I ease the peace and the blessing about your presence.
Those watching this program out there in our New York, Pennsylvania, and Jersey audience, may I ease his peace and other blessing about your presence as well. Good afternoon, and it's always a pleasure to be in the company of the messenger, Holy Queen, community, those that are here, these A.H.A.D believers, those watching. One thing we're going to discuss this evening on this program is about how to develop a personal relationship. That came from one of the questions from the audience as how to get nearer to Ahezaah in a relationship with it. So with that, we're going to discuss that in the show and some other key points and steadfastness and other things, patience, as we go in this conversation. So with that being said, Holy Queen, Brother Fakir,
Well, let me start off by saying that for the most part, the billions of people that consider themselves surrendering to Ahezaah in a righteous path are not doing that. Yes, that's true. Most people believe they're doing it, but they falter, along the path of the way. The path of the way is a trial for people, and people be failing that trial all the time. That's why they say about religion, I'm practicing my religion. I'm practicing it. They don't say I'm living it. I'm practicing it. They don't say I have arrived, I have achieved in the way, the path of the way. I'm practicing it. And that's the proper thing to say, that they're practicing their religion, just like doctors practice medicine, because they're not the authority of it, because the Lord is the authority of it. So they are practicing their craft to help heal people. And that's what religion is. It's a sort of a craft itself to help to heal people spiritually, and those who are on the path of the way as teachers and what have you, if they have not become wholly enlightened, completely enlightened as to where the Lord takes over their being and manifests through them, then they are practicing. Like myself, I am not practicing the religion of Islam. I am not practicing the religion of truth. I am living it. I am a part of it. I am a tool of it. So therefore, the practice for me is over. Right. You see, now I'm a part of the knowing system. As to where the knower, the righteous, manifests through me, uses me as its slave. As its tool. You see? Right. So in terms of me practicing, I have no authority to practice. Right. You see, I am being now used, by the owner, by the originator of the truth of the way.
Now hearing that for the first time, even though knowing you for years, but the first time Allah explaining it now, it makes a greater clarity to me, because as one, because you gave us the word of, like I'm of the faith, I'm of belief, right? And that little word, that proposition, makes a difference in explaining, expressing someone like a practitioner of the faith, because everybody, you hear people say it, but fully understanding, I'm practicing my Islam. They say it, but do they fully grasp the understanding, what like you just said, of it?
Well, just like what you said, people say I'm practicing my Islam. First of all, my is a word that should not even be in that statement, because you're not the owner of it. Right. You don't own nothing of it. And secondly, how many people today actually know what the word is, or as lamb mean? Right. The knower. How many people recognize that when Allah said, I'm sending down to you, or I have perfected in you the religion of the Noah to Muhammad.
Right.
They translate it as the religion of Islam.
Right.
And then when the messengers of Allah have come since Muhammad tried to explain to the people that lamb means knowing and all-knowing and the Noah, then it explains what the is or the as or the or
Right.
el lamb is.
Right.
You know, that is what you call them when you put two words together.
It's a compound.
A compound word
Right.
that they use as one. Just like Muslim. Mu is one who does something.
Right.
And Islam or Salam, one who surrenders.
Right.
You see, and the Arabs have taken many words and made them compound words to be one word.
Right.
But see, us as English-speaking people and people speaking other languages, we're not taught the true language of Arabic. That's why they got 5 dialects, major dialects of
Right.
of Arabic.
Right.
You know, and the Quranic Arabic is a whole different dialect.
Right. It is.
You know, and they don't explain that to people. People think when you talk Arabic, you just talking Arabic. But see, let's look at English. When you talk English, is you just talking English? No, because if you go over to the motherland of England, of the Englanders, you'll be speaking all wrong.
Yeah.
You know, you speaking this American English. It's a different dialect. You know, with different meanings to some of the same words.
I know. Speaking English here, and it's collaborative. All the other groups that have come to this country have slang dies or broke it down and made it. We all talking a little bit of each other's language.
That's why they say English is American English is the hardest language to learn.
Right.
You know, because it's mixed with so many other
Languages, right.
But think about this truth.
Mm-hmm.
Many of the Arabs don't fully know Arabic.
That's right.
They don't fully understand the Arabic language. Just think about it. You got nomads that's living out in the wilderness, out in the lands,
Right.
and they've been out there for generations after generations after generations. What do they know about what's being the changes that's being made in the languages in the cities of the Arabian people,
Right.
or the Arab people?
I even recall an experience some time ago, myself and my former wife. We were looking for some greeting cards, and it was for the Islamic celebration, the Eid celebration at the time. And they were written in Arabic. And we asked one of the store patrons in there, he's an Arab-speaking gentleman, to explain to us what does that mean. And he had no idea.
See
He
that?
was looking at it and
Right.
It's foreign to him.
I'm at it, but I don't know what that's saying. I can read, but I can't read writing.
exactly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's, I was talking to some people, that I know. And, I haven't been hanging out in the streets really for like 30-some years.
Right.
And they had came to visit me and what have you from back in the day, And I said, man, I try to keep everything on the down low. And him and his woman both jumped off my couch. Now, these grown people, 50-some years old, jumped off my couch and said, "Don't say that." I said, "What?" "You can't say that." I said, "What?" "That you on the down low." I said, "What are you talking about? Down low means I'm keeping it secret." They said, "No, down low means you gay." I'm like, "What?
Yeah.
What? When did that begin to mean you gay?" They said, "Where you been?" I said, "In the house." I better be careful. I don't even know how to go out there and talk no more. I could be going out there saying I'm a disbelieving jackass that believes in getting humped like a woman.
Right.
And not knowing that I'm saying that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So this is what happened to languages.
And Lord, that's been always the case with languages all the time. If you read about languages, they evolve, they change, and because people mix, because cultures
Well, look
mix
at what
and
I
stuff
just
like that.
look at the statement that I just made. And some people out there saying, "Now, how could he say he from Allah? How could he say he a messenger and he just say getting humped like a woman?" Prophets don't talk like that. What prophet did they know?
Right.
That's right.
Huh? They said Jesus came into the marketplace and he cursed the Jews. How did he curse?
Right.
What curse language that he used that's not a curse, that's not profane?
It had no effect.
Because see, he had no power to curse them in a manner that would affect them physically, because if he did, they couldn't have put him on the cross.
That's right.
So when they said he cursed them, he profaned them.
Cussed them out.
Cursed them out.
Yep.
But it's funny. I'm laughing because
Custom out.
Cussed them
because
out.
it's funny because the Holy Father first broke down when he was praying out. Did Jesus really curse them? Because usually a lot of them put curses, but he profaned them with his language,
yeah.
and that made a big difference because people see they say bad words they call it now.
Uh-huh.
He's cursing, but it's back to the language again. It's not
Yeah.
really a curse.
No.
It's not a curse.
No. What's more of a curse is people pimping Allah's words.
Okay.
Using them for
Right.
their own gains. Taking possession of them as though they are the originator of them. Beating people down with them. In essence, using them for the devil, for the doers of evil. That's worse than saying a bad, so-called bad word. Huh? If I say that, to hell with you. Some people say, nah, that's bad. But I just said hell. To hell with you.
Right.
But to some people, wow, that's a bad word. Our minister would never say that.
Yeah.
Huh? But if the minister say, well, the Lord damned these people,
Another
it's okay. But if he say, well, damn you.
Right. It's a problem. Right.
You see? So they hypocrites unto themselves. Even by their own language.
So taking what you were saying at the very beginning about practicing, how do you come into striving
Submitting
to that relationship with
verbatim
God? Okay.
to the Lord's words.
Okay.
See, there's a key in misunderstanding and not following the words of the Lord that's come down in his holy words, in his holy books, the scriptures of all different languages. The key is this. The most important things are put aside for the more favorable things. The most important thing is to let the Lord be your guide. Let the Lord be that perfect guide for you in every kind of way, whether it's in the language, in the way you eat, the way you walk, talk, sleep, or whatever. Let it be the one that guides you in everything you do. People on the path say, I got this, Lord. Whoa!
Yeah.
And they think they got it. Now they're in violation of the divine commandments. Because the Lord is the real of everything. It's the reality of everything. It is real. We are the illusions. And when we think that we got this, then we saying that we got a power to do something that we doing independent of you. Just give us a chance, and we will show you what we can do. That's Satan talking.
Right.
But because we
Right.
say it so nicely, we don't see it's the devil's conversation. It's the devil's language. We think it's all right to just go on our prayer carpet and say, oh, Allah, have mercy on me and allow me to do this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 making up our own thing.
Right.
We don't see that as the work of the devil. We didn't create ourselves, so what is it for us to do of our own self, of our own volition?
Right.
It's for us to be unto the Creator. But we can't understand that because the Creator has given us something to look out through the realm of illusions where we see other things and we say, oh, well, I could have this and I can have that. And we call that imagination.
Right.
Because the Lord said itself, I created man, but I'm going to tell you something about man too, mankind.
Oh, okay.
In my image. Now, the Lord can say minds because it owns it.
Right.
But when the people say I created the mankind in my image, they think that's the way El looks.
Right.
And that's not the way El look.
Right.
That's not what we see of the Lord of the throne. That's not the way El look. That's El's image. Huh?
Right.
Just like this is my candlestick. That's not me, but it's my candlestick. That's El's image. That's not El, but that's El's image. It belongs to El. It created that image. and it created man in this image, in the appearance of this image. Now, the Lord says something to me as late as this morning, and I was talking to Holy Queen Mother, because we had a little dispute. I mean, not a dispute, but we had a conversation about something that someone else was disputing, or some problems some people was having. And I said, one of the mistakes that people make is that they think that humanity is the greatest creation of the Lord El, of the Creator. We look at ourselves as great because we can prove that we can kill things, we can move things, we can corrupt things, and we can nurture things. Now, in that illusion, we doing it. We don't see the Lord doing it through us. We don't see the power, the reality doing it through us. We see ourselves doing it. But at the same time, the Lord has taken down mountains of men with microscopic creatures that they can't even see, showing that they got more power than them in terms of taking their lives. We act like we the only ones think and got soul, while them creatures are constantly adjusting to their situation. They have to think to do that. And we say, oh, they don't think, they just have instinct. We got instinct too. And they are mental too. They got minds too. They just of different orders we may not understand. Now, when the Lord said, I am making man in my image, man's kind, and then it further explained that man means mind, and it has always meant mind. Mental has always meant the mentality or the reality of a mind. Okay? Or the life, the life of a mind. Don't you know that the creatures, when Allah says in the Holy Quran, study the ant and become wise, study the beast, study the spider, study this, study that, it's telling you, look at these creatures. They are minds too. There are kinds of minds themselves. So they are man's kind as well. So when you say that the humanity is man's kind, he's a kind of mind. And relative to the Creator. So everything truly is man's kind. Man's kinds of what? Man's kinds of creatures. Man's kinds of illusions. And man is the mind. What we talking about? We talking about the infinite living mind. In all different kinds of its creatures. But we give them different names to identify. Oh, that's the ant, that's the spider, that's the roach, that's the cow, that's the mule. They all minds kinds of creatures.
Even cancer.
The infinite minds, kinds of creatures. Like she said, even cancer. Cancer has a life of its own.
Yeah.
And Ahezaah said to me some time ago, it said everything has mind and everything has soul. If someone disputes you, tell them I am the mind of all creation. In other words, I am the power, the living power, the mover of all creation. And see, people don't understand that, therefore it's hard for them to surrender to the words that is sent down completely, as so that they can come into the light of truth and be surrendered in the path of the way as a true servant, an Allah servant, an El servant. That's a true, is a real, a servant of the real. You see, and that's the way. The only way you're gonna be able to do it. You got to submit your ego. You got to get rid of it. You got to submit to, like Jesus said, you got to become like the baby. They always say that, but they don't explain what Jesus was talking about, because a lot of them don't even know what he was talking about. And Jesus referred again to the baby, milk for babes and meat for men.
Right.
Huh? In other words, Give the soft stuff that's more palatable, more digestible to the babies.
Right.
Huh? To the what?
Less mature.
Not necessarily less mature. To the innocent. To those who are more of the righteous.
Okay. Right.
Give them the milk. Let those other fools have the meat that they got to fight with, their body got to fight with to digest and go through all these changes. Because they don't want the simple truth. The milk. Yeah. Milk is natural. It comes from the mother's breast.
Right.
Let them stay in line with their lineage, with creation, and let the others go and eat of the beast of the land. Huh?
Yeah.
See, Jesus was of the wise, and he spoke wisdom, the wisest words, the word realm of the wise. You know,
Yes.
and people go and repeating, words that they heard, but they don't fully understand what they're saying.
Right.
You know.
Well, we was talking about the relationship, developing that relationship. What we were saying is that striking that we must submit to the awareness that Ahezaah is the presence of, like, this the supreme mind of all things. So we go around thinking that they are self-sufficient, that their mind is an independent one, that it's able to do what it wants to do without going to do. So the key is being aware of Ahezaah, in the sense that Ahezaah is involved in everything, is the result, is the effect of everything.
Okay.
Giving.
I have to be very careful with how I accept your words, because you are the one who kind of speak in ways that words can be taken in different ways. You said submit to the awareness. Then we have to question, whose awareness?
Right.
Are you going to submit to your awareness? Because your awareness is faulty. Just because you're aware in this moment don't mean you're going to be aware as you go along in the next moment. Now, Ahezaah is always aware. Now, before we can submit to its awareness, we have to come to its understanding that it has set down or created for us. We have to come into that understanding about its awareness and what parts of it that it wants us to live of. Because Ahezaah is of all things, and we can't be of all things. I wouldn't even want to be of all things. You feel me? So it's not so much submit to the awareness, but submit to the power that bring forth awareness. Ahezaah is the ever-living power, and if we take charge or claim of power, then we have violated divine laws. And men do that on a regular, all the time. But see, some people would say, well, he don't talk like a minister. He don't talk like a preacher. He don't talk like a priest. Yes, I do. I don't talk like an actor.
Right.
I didn't go to school to say, nah, can I get an amen?
Right.
Because that's what most people want to hear. Because they are told, that's a preacher. They say, oh, the minister was good today. What he talking about? I don't know, but man, give him an amen. He was good today.
Yeah.
How do you know he was good if you don't know what he was talking about? Some people go to sit in congregations for the spirit. And that's not good enough. The spirit of Allah is not good enough. And I know that some people's ears and hearts is hurting for me to say that at this moment, because they're saying, how could you say that's not good enough? For the simple matter is the whole creation is of its spirit. So what's good enough for you in it to make you surrender to it? You need more than just spirit. You was about to say something, Holy Queen?
I was going to say, Is it safe to say that, when you're talking about surrendering to Ahezaah and having a personal relationship with Ahezaah, is it safe to say that, without becoming dead of yourself, that's like an impossible task?
Yes, it's safe to say that. Like Jesus said it very clear, you must die of yourself to live unto the Lord, or live of the Lord. You have to. If any part of your being is still alive, then you're not submitted.
Right.
Okay.
You're not holy.
Right.
The Lord itself is the one that has to annihilate you. You cannot annihilate yourself.
Right.
The act of you annihilating yourself is committing suicide, and that's a violation of divine law.
Right.
You have to. The Lord has given us examples. The altar. Come to the altar and be slain on the altar.
Right.
Let it slay you.
Right.
See, when the Lord slays you and you're right with it, it takes away all your impurities and annihilate them, break you down, slaughter you.
Right.
That's what Christ do. Crushes you, annihilates you, and then bring you back to life in the holy. Mm-hmm. Now, your mind is no longer yours to think that it's yours.
Right.
Right.
As much as I sit up here and talk to you, I realize because of what the reality give me to live, because to the eyes is I bringing life. I live this reality. I realize that this mind that's working is being worked now, not me working it. I realize it's being worked by the greater power, the real power of my being, which is beyond me, although it's intertwined in me. But its reality is beyond anything I could know of reality.
So the phrase of no mind comes now into effect.
Therefore, that's what the Chinese and many were saying, you must be of no mind. And people say, how could you be of no mind?
Right.
Well, this is what they're talking about. No mind of your own.
Right. And that's
no mind of the illusion of having a mind.
Thinking you're independent now, self-sufficient now.
There you go.
I'm thinking my own thoughts now.
There you
right.
go.
Okay.
There you go.
Hearing and obeying.
Hearing, right.
Right. That's why
okay.
I remember once I had a confrontation with an individual that used to sit in this community, and we've had numbers of individuals come to this community, and they look at little old me and they say, oh, he don't really know nothing. I could take this over. What do you know about Socrates and Plato and this, that, and the other? Nothing much. What you got to tell me?
Right.
What do you know about Allah? Only that it's real. That it said this and it said that and it said. Now it showed me this, that, and the other, and evidence to what it said. And these things I could say I know, but what do I really know? I really know nothing. It knows, and it caused me to think I know. Because everything it caused me to think I know, it could change without me even knowing it. Like they said to the people of the cave in the Holy Quran expressed, how long was you asleep?
Right.
Oh, a day or two. Said, no, over 100 years.
Right. Yeah.
You know? See, Ahezaah can do anything it want to do in creation. We look at things and we say, oh, that's impossible. Not for Ahezaah. Nothing is impossible. No matter how crazy it seems, nothing is impossible. Everything is possible, and it makes everything possible. But it might not make things possible for us.
Okay.
It may not make things possible for us to even believe that it's possible, or to think that this illusions of its being is real to us.
Right.
So it does whatever it wants to do. That's why I tell people, thank Allah if you're on the right side of it. Thank it that you was created to be on the right side of it, because it could have easily created you to be on the left side, the wrong side of it. You know? And just think about how many people you may have come in contact with that try so hard to make their own way in being righteous in the way that they think what righteousness is. Sit amongst you and think that they're not of the devil and pretend and go into their own belief that they're not doing the devil's work because they sitting with you who keep mentioning Ahezaah or Allah.
of you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed?